is I, Blue Box Angel, and I am here to do another episode of Death Battle! Guts versus Nightmare. Now, first things first, hopefully I have more to say about this Death Battle than I did the last one I did. Hopefully it's more of me actually saying my thoughts than just laughing. So, anyway, now that's out of the way. What do I know about Guts and Nightmare? Barely anything! I know Nightmare's from Soul Calibur and Guts is from Berserk. I know Soul Calibur's a video game series, and I'm pretty sure Guts is an anime character, but I can't remember exactly. I can't remember exactly if Berserk was an anime or not. But anyway, enough of that, but still. So yeah, I don't really know who to root for. So, yeah, I don't have any so far. So, hey, at least this way I can listen to them and find out who I'm going to root for in the fight. Anyway, and like most people, I'm probably going to pause right before the death battle to give my prediction. Anyway, enough of my chit-chat, let's start!
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Squarespace, the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your idea. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. Try Squarespace at squarespace.com/screwattack and instantly get 10% off.
I really feel like I'm not going to get my own website, so that was completely pointless.
For untold decades, scientists have searched for a legitimate method of measuring a person's level of badassness, completely missing the obvious answer. Just check out the size of his sword! Guts, the brutal-like swordsman from Berserk, and Nightmare, the demonic scourge from Soul Calibur. He's with an boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Okie dokie. Who do we got first? Guts.
In the realm of Midland, rumors run rampant of a man wielding a humongous blade, slaying any who get in his way. But before his legend grew, this black swordsman was known simply as Guts. Oh man, I'm so excited! Guts is one of the most badass and hardcore characters ever. But the story of Guts is not for the faint of heart. Yeah. Kinda
tragic backstory.
You've been warned. After a brutal massacre, Guts was born from the corpse of his mother, who'd been hanged from a tree. Started. Baby Guts was discovered by a traveling band of mercenaries and was adopted by the camp whore, who died of the plague 3 years later. With no one left to turn to, Guts was mentored by the mercenary leader Gambino, who began training him in swordsmanship when he was just 6 years old.
Why don't you use a smaller sword, one right for your side? We don't carry any baby-sized swords for kids here anyway.
An extremely determined student of war, Guts was soon brought onto the battlefield and killed his first man at the age of 9. Despite his skill, life wasn't all murder, sunshine, and rainbows. Guts was constantly abused in many ways that I don't really want to go into. The awful things he had to endure kickstarted the long, excruciating process of grooming Guts into the scariest man in the world. After killing his crazed adoptive father in self-defense, Guts became a lone mercenary, and a damn good one. Recognized for his skill, he was recruited by the mercenary crew called the Band of the Hawk, led by an ambitious man named Griffin. The Hawk's Raiders would be Guts' first taste of camaraderie and friendship. Over the next 3 years, they single-handedly ended a 100-year war. Things were looking up for Guts. And then Griffin summoned a horde of demons, transformed him into a bad monster, murdered all of Guts' friends, and claimed ownership of Guts' soul by breaking his neck.
Because why not?
Griffin then raped Guts' girlfriend in the pool of his friend's blood as he watched, pinned down with his eye gouged out and forced to cut off his own arm. Definitely not his best day. After Guts dedicated his entire life to murdering Griffith as painfully and brutally as possible, while fighting demons on a daily basis as they are drawn to his brand like moths to a flame.
Yeah.
But to do this, he needs the right tools for the job. He carries a belt of throwing knives and a pouch of mini-bombs even demons can't take. He also received a new mechanical hand, which houses a flamethrower, repeater crossbow, and a hidden single-shot cannon. Perfect for blasting a demon's face off. Surprise, bitch! But none of that compares to Guts' primary tool of destruction.
His sword?
The giant blade known as Dragon Slayer.
Awesome name.
Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. It's too big to be called a sword. More like a heap of raw iron. And it might just be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Are you sure?
Forged by the legendary hermit Godo, Dragon Slayer was made to, well, slay a dragon. Unfortunately, it was laughed off as impossible to use by anyone. Except for Guts. Sitting 6.5 feet long and weighing over 400 pounds, the Dragon Slayer is enormous, though not unfeasible. In real life, the largest sword ever used in battle belonged to a Frisian freedom fighter and stood 7 feet tall, though it wasn't nearly as heavy, only 14 pounds.
Yeah.
With a single swing of Dragon Slayer, Guts can cleave through a man wearing heavy armor. Along with his weapon, his horse, and any other people, animals, or demons who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Basically, stay away from him.
1,000 demons, no, I did not stutter. Dragon Slayer has bathed in so much demonic blood that it now rests in both the physical and astral planes of existence. Somehow. Meaning it is capable of harming any supernatural being. Even ghosts!
Interesting.
Guts is an absolute monster in combat. He can move faster than the eye can track, kill 100 soldiers on his own in a single night, and once jumped in the mouth of a giant sea god, cut his way through it, and killed it from within.
Okay.
You intend to gamble your life on a single strike.
Guts will do anything to defeat his foes, including jumping into fire or allowing himself to be impaled just to gain an advantage. And somehow he always survives.
Because he's a hero.
Gotten stabbed through the face, taken 1,000 supernatural punches at once, and even been run over by an elf fairy monster going supersonic speeds. But his disregard for his own safety can be costly. Honestly, the only reason he's still alive is pure dumb luck and unstoppable willpower. And if Guts wasn't tough enough on his own, he wears the Berserker armor, the most insane battle gear you've ever seen. Activating the Berserker armor seals off the wearer's nervous system, making him immune to pain and its natural inhibitions. This allows Guts to fight at his fullest potential, boosting his power and speed at the risk of damaging his own body. With his armor, Guts' sword swing is more powerful than a cannonball, though the Force can break his own arm. But don't worry, the cursed Berserker armor will literally rip and pierce his body to pin the bones and muscle back in place. Now don't get the wrong idea, the armor does not actually heal Guts, it just holds him together. This is dangerous because, well, even though Guts won't feel pain, that doesn't make him invincible.
Yeah.
Berserker armor also kinda forces Guts to give into his inner demons and lose all sense of morality and restraint, making him the most violent demon killer ever. Violent and completely uncontrollable. Guts is the embodiment of rage and the epitome of badassery. Believe me, the last thing you want to do is get in this guy's way.
I won't.
My sword has gotten very dull. However, it's 3 times as thick and does 3 times the damage of a normal sword.
Ooh my.
Or this could be painful.
Okie dokie. How about Nightmare?
Long ago, transcending history and the world, an enormous sword was forged, designed to be the deadliest weapon on the battlefield. It was called Soul Edge, and it was a beast, gigantic, powerful, sexy.
Looks like a Quetzalcoatlus.
Something 6 feet 1 inch in length. No
At least the head of a
one
Quetzalcoatlus.
but those who could proved unstoppable. It left no survivors in its wake, just like my ex-wife at an all-you-can-eat buffet. However, a great evil dwelt within the sword. After claiming victory upon victory and being bathed in the blood and hatred of countless foes, a fire was born inside Soul Edge. Literally, it's a demon made of friggin' fire! The demon Inferno had one purpose, to infect the world with evil and chaos. But in order to accomplish this, he needed a warrior capable of wielding the true power of Soul Edge. He
And that was
planned to
Nightmare?
possess this warrior and transform them into the azure-clad Knight of Darkness, Nightmare. victim came in the late 16th century, when a pirate named Cervantes de Leon raided an English galleon and discovered the intriguing blade aboard, claiming it as his own.
But as we know, this was no ordinary flesh-covered sword with an eyeball. Inferno seized this opportunity and possessed the pirate, testing his body by slaughtering the entire population of a Spanish port town. Talk about a test drive!
Yeah.
Unfortunately, while powerful, Cervantes was not the ideal vessel Inferno sought.
So we made him sit in that town until two chicks showed up, killed his ass, and somebody more powerful picked up the sword.
That someone was a knight named Siegfried, and this was the body Inferno was looking for. Once Siegfried's hand touched Soul Edge, Inferno began eating away at his soul, torturing him endlessly and feeding on his fear and anger, transforming him into Nightmare. Nightmare was powerful enough to threaten all of Europe, conquering whole armies and devouring thousands of innocent souls.
If you haven't figured it out by now, Soul Edge is kind of like the ring from Lord of the Rings. If it could cut people and hungered for souls.
However, Soul Edge's power was incomplete. At some point, it had been broken, and shards of the demon's sword had been scattered across the world. To unlock Soul Edge's true power, Nightmare set off to find the lost pieces of his sword and repair it.
Yep.
Nightmare discovered
Sounds like a typical plot.
The power of Soul Edge grew, and so did Nightmare's. He
Yeah.
would fight with numerous stances, channel fire and lightning through Soul Edge, and devour the souls of hundreds at once with Soul Wave.
What's this?
Despite Nightmare's ever-growing power, Siegfried constantly battled to free himself from Soul Edge's curse, and eventually, he succeeded. The two did battle atop of Strasbourg Castle, but Nightmare's power was so great the entire structure was obliterated by a single swing of his vile blade.
Just like a crazy ex-girlfriend, he figured if he couldn't have that body, no one can.
Soul Edge cannot be defeated by an ordinary blade. In fact, only one weapon has ever been able to harm it. A supposedly holy blade called Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Unknown to most, Soul Calibur is actually the final shard of Soul Edge, reforged into a second sword made specifically to combat its demonic counterpart.
Poor guy. How would you feel if some asshole decided to make a weapon specifically designed to murder you? And it kept showing up everywhere.
Nightmare has come close to conquering the world on numerous occasions, yet a warrior wielding Soul Calibur always seems to show up and hold him at bay. While Soul Edge seems indestructible,
Apart from that pesky holy sword,
Inferno does require a mortal body to create Nightmare. Should Nightmare fall, Inferno can risk his own life by manifesting himself to protect Soul Edge, as his very existence is tied to the sword.
But if Nightmare manages to absorb that final shard, Soul Edge and Nightmare will merge into their ultimate form. Night Terror! A larger, deadlier, flyier Nightmare!
Flyer.
Yeah, when one gains the power of flyingness? Duh.
No matter the time, place, or
And
destiny,
I wonder
you
why
can
our
witness the
educational
final
system
duel
is
of
going down the
Soul
drain.
Edge, Inferno, and Nightmare.
I shall travel the world in both.
Okay.
Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle! Giant swords, yeah!
Okay, who do I think's gonna win? I honestly am still not sure. So instead of just wasting your time, well, I guess I gotta pick one side. Hold on. I'll flip a coin. Heads, guts. Tails, Nightmare. Well, apparently I'm rooting for Nightmare. So, go Nightmare.
stand aside.
Technically, the tree was in your way, but oh well.
My darkness.
Again, trying to find something to comment on. So far, the only thing I can think of is right now these two guys really hate trees. Also, Nightmare, you're very hard to understand right now. Ooh. Well, this is awkward. Now for, Night Terror. So far, it looks like I was right about the whole Nightmare thing, but it could turn any moment. Tis but a scratch! He'll just walk it off.
I told you to stay out of my way.
And... whatever you say, Human Torch. Well, it looks like I was wrong.
Yeah, now that's what I call a sword fight. Well, Nightmare will
Just keep firing.
Guts. This is what Guts does every single day. He gets the shit kicked out of him trying to defeat gods and demons, leaves among his abilities, and still prevails. It's true. I mean, this guy lives in a world where giant monsters are trying to kill you, eat you, rape you, or all three at the same time. And that's just Monday. It's true. All his life, Guts has had the odds stacked against him, and yet he's still kicking while everything else is dead. Oh, but Wizard, I thought only Soul Calibur could destroy Solon. That's also true in the Soul Calibur world. However, Inferno exists on an astral plane. If you recall, Guts' Sword Dragon Slayer also exists on such a plane, leaving no question that it could destroy Soul Edge. Plus, his Berserker armor bought him plenty of time to land the killing blow.
Okay.
It will literally let you fight on until all of your bones are shattered and the last drop of your blood is spilled. And it's not like Soul Edge was going to have any luck tempting Guts into picking it up and turning it into another nightmare. Not only has Guts dealt with enough demonic shit to know that's a bad idea, he really loves that Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
He's not giving that up for anything.
I can tell.
Guts was just a whole nother caliber. The winner is Guts.
That one wasn't as bad. Boomstick. Okay, who's next time?
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh? Iron Man? Versus who? Who's going up against Iron Man?
It's like the old saying. If you want someone...
Oh! Lex Luthor versus Iron Man.
Hey everybody, click that like button if you like huge-ass sword battles. And be sure to share and subscribe. In the mood for more action? Check out the latest 1-minute melee between Lucario and Renamon. Yes, Pokemon versus Digimon. It's
Who knew?
And be sure to pick up Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures on Wii U. We have a video game on Nintendo. Yay! Thanks for watching.
How did you even do that? Anyway. I'm just gonna stop it there. So, what did I think of that one? Well, it was an interesting fight. Sort of sad I didn't have much to comment on it, but I guess that's what happens when you really have not that much to say, because I was really trying to listen and on their abilities since I had no idea who the characters were. But also, Coin, you failed me! Nickel, you failed me! Get out of here! Anyway. So, enough about that death battle. It was good. Anyway, now for the next death battle and what I think about it. Well, at least it's more of my hey territory. I am a Marvel fan. And that goes beyond the movies. I do read the comics. Mostly Deadpool, but still comics. So even then, I'm a bit new to the comics, but even there. As for Lex Luthor, well, once I saw Lex Luthor, it made sense. Yeah, like when I first saw Iron Man, like, I was like, okay, who are they going to pit against Iron Man? And I was like, well, let's see. If it's going to be a Marvel character, chances are there's going to be a DC character fighting him. So who would be the best chance? And then Lex Luthor showed up, and I was like, yep, obvious. I mean, who else is there? Steel? Anyway. This is Blue Box Angel, and hopefully I have more to say about that death battle. But anyway, until next time, goodbye!